welcome everyone to the latest edition of Senior Showcase, where we're just looking to honor different students from the class of 2020. And today we're honored on this episode to have Lauren Pokonosky. So, hey Lauren, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this today. And if you don't mind, initially, if you could just take a minute or two and just tell everyone, introduce yourself a little bit and what you've been involved in the last 4 years at Prairie Ridge, and then we'll go from there.
Sure, definitely. Hi, everyone. I am Lauren Pokonosky. I am graduating this year, obviously. I was part of tennis, soccer, National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, med club, speech team, math team, scholastic bowl, you name it. But yeah, just here today to tell you a little bit about myself.
That's awesome. So, so you seem to have a little special emphasis on speech team and scholastic bowl at the end. So
yeah,
why don't you share that? Tell me about what you kind of enjoyed about those two groups.
Sure, yeah. Well, first off, I really like Scholastic Bowl. If you haven't heard of it, it's kind of like a Jeopardy style competition game. So we go compete against other schools. They ask you questions about literally anything. It could be math, could be history, just could be a random fact about cooking. And that's just really fun. It's just a good way to, spit out some facts and show people what you know. And then speech team, this was one of my favorite activities throughout high school. In this activity, I did a couple of acting events, but my main event was called impromptu speaking. Some of you might have seen me at the speech showcases doing this event. In this event, I walk into a room, I'm given an envelope with 3 prompts in it, and I have 2 minutes to prepare a 6-minute speech on a different prompt every single time. So I really like this event because it has taught me how to think on my feet as well as become a better public speaker. I know people ask me, why do you want to go compete and public speak for fun? I've asked myself the same question, but ultimately, I am so happy that I did this activity in high school because it's taught me how to be more confident in speaking, public speaking, and just talking in general. So, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So now I almost feel like challenged, like I need to stump you because you're like an expert interviewee here, to be able to talk about stuff. So did you do that all 4 years?
Yep.
So tell me, for those that don't know how a typical speech meet works.
Sure.
Tell me how it works this was a PR specific one, not a D155 team, right? It was PR.
Yes, PR specific.
Okay. Who was your faculty kind of coach team?
Yeah.
Liaison?
The main head coach was Mrs. Hartnett, an English teacher. And then we had a librarian, Mrs. Bland was another coach. We had Mr. Janshigo, Mr. Relic, who's a sub sometimes. And then just a couple more people would come in sometimes and help us with speaking. Not necessarily affiliated with the district, but yeah.
Great. And so when you would go to a meet, kind of walk us through what that looks like and where you guys would go.
Sure. Okay. So we get up very, very early in the morning. Bus usually leaves at 6 to 6:30, and we're all dressed up in suits and ties. It's kind of funny. It's like we're at a government meeting. There's hundreds of kids walking around a big high school, all in suits and everything. But so we get to a school. We usually compete within an hour or 2 hours away. And we get to school, we go find our rooms. Each day we have 3 rounds, so we say 3 speeches a day. Depending on your event, you're competing with people in your event. So you go first round, usually at 8 o'clock. So you speak in front of a panel of usually 3 judges and an audience of spectators. And then they will rank you. And over your 3 rounds, you'll get all of your cumulative ranks can determine if you go to the final round. So that's always a good thing to get into because then that means you have a 4th round, you get to say another speech, hooray. And that determines at the end of the day, which is usually around 5 o'clock at this point, you go to awards and you find out your place for the day.
That's awesome. Now, was this usually on the weekends or would it be during the week?
Yeah, they're always on Saturdays, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Terrific. Is there a memorable one? Is there one where you went, man, that one, what was the oddest impromptu speech you had to kind of figure out?
Sure. Let's see. The first ever speech I gave was at Huntley High School. I was a freshman. I was so terrified for the entire week leading up to it. I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to public speak for fun. This is crazy. But I ended up going into the room. My prompt was a proverb. I think it was absence makes the heart grow fonder. And
Sure.
I just got up there, I stood up there, and all of my nerves just went away. I was totally fine. I gave my speech, and when I finished that, I was like, I could do this for the rest of high school. That was fun. And yeah.
Oh, awesome. So as you look back on this senior year, what are
Hmm.
some of the memorable things that you personally experienced at Prairie Ridge over your senior year there?
Sure, yeah. A lot of good football games this year. Obviously, we had a good run as a team this season. Tennis season was so much fun. We had a great senior group that was amazing, just so much fun. What else?
What
Just
what what events did you do for tennis? Were you singles? Were you doubles? How'd that
yeah,
work?
I was doubles. My partner was Sarah Palestrini. We had such a good time. Could not stop laughing on the court. So yeah.
Great. And now, obviously, with the quarantine and such, it's kind of changed the way everything has gone for your last semester. What have you done to kind of keep connected with friends, with other people, maintain your sanity? How's that gone for you?
Yeah, it's really, I am so grateful that we have the technology that we do because if we weren't able to just Snapchat or FaceTime our friends, I don't know what we would do right now. So yeah, a lot of that. I've been FaceTiming people. I've been just talking to everyone online, which has really been good. So keeping in
Any
the
any kind of binge watching of any kind of shows or anything out there, or have you kind of avoided that trap?
I was gonna say this is gonna make me sound like a little bit of a nerd, but I really don't watch that much TV. I would prefer to read a book at any point. So no
So
binge watching for me.
so what's the book of choice right now?
Right now I'm reading a new one. It's called Where the Crawdads Sing. It's very, very good. It's a little bit scientific, but I know that it's been on like a bestsellers list lately, so I thought I'd just pick it up.
Okay, cool. So tell us what your plans are next year.
Sure, yeah. I haven't told many people about this, but about 2 weeks ago, I committed to Ohio State University. And I'm very, very excited to go because we are probably the best at football in the Big Ten. I'm very excited about that one.
There we go Buckeyes, right?
And I am majoring in biomedical engineering with a minor in Spanish. I'm on the pre-med track, and I hope to someday be a doctor of some sort.
Oh, that's awesome. So if we look in the future, 10 years from now, at that point, you'll probably be what, just finishing up medical school or your specialty or getting into
Yep.
now if you could wave a magic wand and make everything be just how you want it to be, where would you be? What's it look like? Who's around you? Where you living? What's that going to be like in 10 years?
Yeah. Oh boy. In 10 years, I hope to have a family at that point, but also, like you said, be graduating from medical school. I hope to still be connected with people from high school. I've met so many incredible people, whether it be teammates or classmates, and I really hope that I can still have those people by my side in the future, wherever I may be.
Gotcha. Now, as you look back on your time at Prairie Ridge, you come across a lot of great faculty and coaches and administrators. Are there any special ones that kind of stand out that you just kind of wanted to give a shout out to or talk about?
Sure. Yeah. I've adored all of my teachers I've had at Prairie Ridge. I really appreciate them. One that stood up to me the most is Mrs. Hartnett, who was my speech team coach. She helped me freshman year. I was nervous. I was stuttering. I could not give a speech. And she helped me become a completely different public speaker and ultimately not only increase my public speaking skills, but my confidence. And I really just wanted to thank her for all that.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, are there any fellow students or people like that you've really just kind of enjoyed your time with and just when you mention, hey, 10 years from now, I hope I'm friends with them. Is there a certain group that you just want to kind of mention and appreciate what they've meant in your life so far?
Yeah, there's definitely so many groups. My two best friends, shout out to Amelia Jensen and Lainey Burseth. The entire tennis team, all the soccer teams I've been on, the speech team, just really every team is a different dynamic, but I really appreciate everyone.
Oh, great. And then I know you were one of the founding members of the Med Club, and I know that's a relatively new club as it comes to kind of high schools and such. Tell me about that a little bit and what you enjoyed about it.
Yeah, sure. We didn't see any opportunities at the school. About 2 years ago, we started our junior year for students interested in medicine to really explore that career path, for opportunities for shadowing or seeing what really happens in that field. So the Med Club has really given us a good opportunity to bring in speakers and teach people more about the medical field and get them more interested in it now because it's a long road. But if you're dedicated and committed from early on, like with this Med Club, you can really do it.
Oh, that's awesome. And tell me a little bit about, I didn't ask you about this, about your family. Are you an only child? Do you have siblings? Tell me about
Yeah,
your family dynamic.
I have one brother. He's a sophomore. He'll be a junior next year. His name is Joe Pokonosky. Yeah, well, yeah, he's Joe. I also have one dog. Her name is Maisie. She's a little tiny little black dog. But yeah, that's my family. Definitely had a lot of family time during these past few months.
And what's been the go-to at family time? Any games, any um, specific, strange activities?
A lot of cooking lately. We've been trying a lot of new recipes as a family, which is fun. But other than that, lots of yard work and cards. Definitely a lot of cards. We play so many different card games as a family. It's always been something that we've always just loved doing.
And do they lead to a little bit of disagreement, or is it just good old fun?
Let's see. It depends on who's winning, I'd have to say. But
So who's the sore loser in the family?
what's that?
Who's the sore loser in the family?
Not to mention names, but maybe Joe.
Okay. All right. I know some other people have mentioned picking up the cooking habit. So is there a favorite dish that you now have gone, man, that's me. I really enjoy making that. And as I go off to Columbus, Ohio next year, this is going to be my go-to.
Yeah. Let's see. Gosh, it's really been a little bit of everything, but a lot of baking. Found some good banana bread recipes. I know that's what everyone's been making lately, but yeah, that's definitely
Plain
that.
banana bread, or do you like throwing some other ingredients in there?
You really just got to mix it up depending on the whatever day it is, But I think nuts and chocolate chips is probably the best.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Now, you're obviously familiar, and Dr. Cook uses it all the time, is once a wolf, always a wolf. So as you reflect on that, as your time at Prairie Ridge comes to an end, what's that mean to you going forward?
Yeah, I think it's especially important to remember right now since we can't be together for probably the most memorable parts of our high school careers. But I think the important thing to remember about Once a Wolf, Always a Wolf is that when we're on these fields or on these courts, in our uniforms or in the classroom, we might think that that's all that high school is, that it's being in that classroom or playing on that field. And while that's an incredible part of the experience, I think we leave with the most important part of that experience, and that is the people. We'll always have the people from high school. We'll always have our fellow wolves. And ultimately, that's what's going to keep those memories alive.
That's awesome. Is there like a mundane kind of thing that you kind of look back and go, wow, I kind of missed that I didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to kind of do that now.
People are going to think this is weird, but definitely, I think just waking up to an alarm.
Yeah.
Something that we groan about every single day of school, but now it'd be so nice for just one more day to wake up to that school alarm and know that, wow, I can go to school today.
Gotcha. So back to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because you said you kind of took it to, well, you had until officially yesterday, right? Was that the official acceptance day, or?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So what kind of went into and led, and who were some of the other competitors you were looking at for college?
Sure. I was between University of Iowa, Miami of Ohio, and Ohio State. And ultimately it came down to who had the best programs for my engineering major and also who had the prettiest campus. And I have to say that Ohio State really caught my attention, not only the campus, but the football team and just the entire school itself. So I'm very excited for next fall.
Any fellow classmates that you're aware of going to Columbus as well?
Yeah, I know one of my fellow speech teamers, Tori Ostro, is going to Ohio State, so I'm very excited about that.
Okay. Have you had a chance to pick out a roommate yet, or how's that process going to be for you?
Yeah, yep, I found two roommates. We're doing a triple, so that's exciting.
Very cool. All right, and to kind of end this, I always kind of look, what is kind of something that people don't know about Lauren that maybe only your family knows, but maybe would be cool to kind of share with others?
Sure. I guess a lot of people don't know that I have my own sugar cookie business. A couple years ago, I started decorating sugar cookies with a local mom that I babysat for, and since then, I've kind of taken over that business. I take orders probably 3 times a month of a couple dozen cookies. They're decorated from anything from birthdays to dinosaurs to Curious George themed ones. I work with a couple local bakeries to fulfill orders, and yeah, I guess that's something a lot of people don't know about me.
Well, that's awesome. So, hey, not to, and maybe you don't want the business, but if you did, and someone's watching this, how can they reach out to you to go, hey, I would love to pick up some sugar cookies, especially with parties and all the summer stuff coming.
Yes, I do a lot of graduation cookies. You can find me on Instagram. I have an account with all of the orders I've done. It's cookies.by.lauren. Not a very creative name, but you can find me there, either that, or you can just reach out to me personally on Snapchat or Instagram and just go ahead and ask me about it. I'd be happy to do an order.
That is awesome. So good for you. What happens with the business when you go away?
Unfortunately, I don't think anything happens with it. It might just kind of dissolve, but we'll see. I'm sure I'll
tell
just
you,
keep it as a hobby.
Cookies are an awesome seller on college campuses. So
Yeah.
if there's any way you can make it work there, you might have a nice niche.
Yeah.
So, hey, this has been a real pleasure talking with you, Lauren. I appreciate your time, and you're a terrific example of the class of 2020, and just, appreciate what you're doing and wish you nothing but great success in the future.
Thank you, and thank you for this project. It really, highlighting the seniors is a great thing to do this time of year, so thank you.